What's on your mind, Alicia Mackay?
I've been thinking about ownership and boundaries.
Ooh, so not ownership like in house ownership.
Not ownership like what you possess, but what you control and do. So I ran a session on Friday for a bunch of change management people. And we did this great hour on agency and responding to change and preparing for disaster and all this great stuff. And then I had the questions at the end, get the Q&A. And I reckon a solid 50% of the questions were, well, yeah, but how do you get other people to take agency? What do you do with other people?
Those people.
That don't, that don't have any agency.
Because I'm full ownership, right?
I'm all good, but what do I do about every other bastard? Can I say bastard on what's in
Yeah, you said much worse than that before.
And my response to that was, well, A, it's kind of not your problem, but B, ownership's a two-way street. So it's really important that you focus on the thing that you can own and control, right? But when you don't let other people take ownership by drawing that boundary, you're kind of ripping them off.
Yeah.
So my message was, if you don't allow other people to suffer the consequences of their behaviour, you're doing them out of their own personal growth, and that's kind of mean.
So we're both parents, so that's exactly good parenting, right? So how often
all good
are
leadership
we
is good parenting, man.
Absolutely. There's the quote of the day. So this idea of allowing people to suffer consequences, why do we not do that?
I think it's selfishness and fear. All right. So when I talk to leaders about delegation, I'm always really clear that the hard part about delegation is not giving somebody else a job to do. The hard part about delegation is not stepping in when they screw it up. Because inevitably at some point they will. But the only way that there's growth and learning and accountability, right, is when people actually have to suffer that. And when you're a leader, you don't want to do that because it might make you look bad.
Totally. And I reckon it's often a trade-off too, because I think there's this dimension between time, learning and quality, right? So
are there three circles? It's a triangle.
Right?
We're going to do shapes again.
Right? So I want to give someone ownership of something and then I step in, and often it's because, they're taking too long, we've got to do it now, I'll do it, right? Or they're doing it but it's not good enough quality, so I'll get my fingers in the pie and level it up, right? And what happens is the other one suffers, which is learning, which is the growth bit. Which
You're ripping them off.
So there's this. That's why I love this idea of the selfishness bit, because it's like, I'm not giving you the opportunity.
No, I'll have all the growth and learning here, thank you. You don't get any.
Not even growth and learning, but just kudos, right? I'll be the one who kind of delivers. I reckon there's this story in society that we have that delivery trumps discovery. So delivery is about making shit happen. So I'll say it again.
Do it.
Delivery trumps discovery. So delivery as in, got to make some shit happen at all costs.
Look how busy I am. Look at this thing I made.
All we are,
I'm very good.
How busy we are. And I'll make you busy until you're not good enough, and then I'll be the busy one. But it's because delivery is paramount, whereas discovery is subservient to delivery. Discovery meaning learning, growth, improvement, whatever, right? And so delivery always suffers.
It's a bit chicken and egg, isn't it?
Oh, it totally is.
Because how can you deliver if you don't learn and know anything? Like, how does your delivery ever improve if you haven't taken the time to figure out how to be awesome or what to shed or...
That's right. And so whenever I've talked with that idea about delivery and discovery with teams, they're like, oh, hell yeah, we're all about delivery. We're all about that. How do we change the culture? And I reckon if we look back to this thing of ownership, it's like, well, maybe we just need to be braver with giving ownership fully and sitting with the muck-ups and the learning, because then I reckon the learning happens faster when the people are feeling the pain.
But we forget about that personal risk, don't we? Like I think you touched on it before and it's perfect. The reason we don't is because it's a personal risk. But whenever somebody asks me how to get them to take ownership, it's like, why don't you let them? And whether they do or whether they don't is over to them. But that's not in your control.
It's even that language of let is interesting. You said allow before, and I'm wondering, this still means the power lives with us. What if we didn't even, we worked out who has ownership, as opposed to, I'll let you have ownership of this little bit, I still have the complete power. Maybe it's about working it out.
No, because it is like that. Because it's like, you can't just, if you go back to the delegation thing again, if you just hand something to someone, And it's like, well, good luck. Well, that's not good leadership.
No.
But
I'm not saying that.
Having the clarity about the boundaries of going, this is my bit.
Yeah.
And the rest of that, this is yours.
I'm just challenging the bit about the language of allow. Because what if, I don't know, say Belinda, my business manager, comes to me and goes, I've got this great idea. Do I allow her to have ownership of that?
Yeah.
Am I the arbiter? Or is it actually, tell me more about it? Cool. Okay, what are you going to do with that? There's no allowing in that.
No, bullshit. This is so woke. Like, we've gotten
What, you or me?
We've gotten so woke about leadership that we've forgotten that people have bosses. Like, we've gone, we're all open plan and flat hierarchy, and that is such crap. The fact is, if you've got someone to report to, they have a power and fear dynamic with you, and you've got a power and fear dynamic with someone else. And when we make that power and fear dynamic invisible, that's why we're not able to figure that out.
Right now?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not taking it.
Go on then.
I think we make that up.
No!
I think we do.
We make up the fact that people's livelihoods depend on the approval of their superior. They just do.
No, they don't.
Because.
Because.
That's where you pick that
up. Right. No, just because they don't. So I think about if you are a boss that has got your relationship working so well that actually the fear isn't in the room, then it doesn't matter. You can have a situation where people are going to come to you. I have this all the time. People come to me and go, okay, how about we do this? I mean, Gillian's a good example. I'm not her boss, but I also am the one who will say, it's the Changemakers program, and she'll come up with all these ideas. Do I allow her to run with things, or do I just go, tell me more about that? What would that look like if we ran it? Why don't you try it out? So I'm more of an enabler than an allower, I think. You just do not look convinced.
Well, I just think it's a kind of a privileged perspective.
Yeah, you would say that.
But I would say that. All right. So when it comes to taking ownership and setting boundaries, are we getting them or are we letting them? Are we striking the right balance between delivery and discovery? And when it comes to allowing people the space or the permission to own their own stuff, is that power dynamic real, or is it something that we're imagining? Digby and I have got different ideas, but would be keen to hear yours.
I think she's making it up.